It is Tuesday. This is the second Tuesday of June, which means we are on an album tour. And you will notice this. Oh, sorry, grabbed the wrong thing, moved the wrong thing. No, this is the one I wanted. You'll notice this says I'm going to be listening to Yes, Fragile, and the Adolescents self-titled album. Now, guys, I didn't mean to hit the screen. I wanted this one. We're going to be hopping into Fragile. And this is an album, I'm going to be honest, I only know the song Roundabout on. I think we've all heard Roundabout. If I'm being honest, I just know it's got a ripping bass. I can't say I've ever sat and listened to the entire song through. I just know it's got a ripping bass. And, yeah. I know it goes, I'll be your roundabout. That's all I got. Some synth sounds, whatever. I didn't realize it came out in 1971. It looks like we've got a tight 9 songs over a 41 minute and 22 second banger. So, we're going to hop into this. As I jump in, I gotta ask, guys, have you heard this album before? Yo, Pickle Skipper, very happy to have you. Bye. Love you back. Guys, I'm going to hit the play button on this thing. In case you didn't know, every Tuesday I listen to 2 different albums. It's something I started back in November. I actually think it helped change my life. But every Tuesday, with the wonderful group of people that you can see over here, I listen to 2 different albums. This month, we are doing a theme, Frog Goes Punk. So we're going to listen to this particular Yes album, and then we are going to be hopping into the Adolescent self-titled album. But come and hang out with us. I stream every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Arizona time, and I would love to have you by. Before I hit the play button, it's very important to me that you know that you are awesome, that you are valuable, that you are important, that you matter, that you are deserving of love, and that I am abundantly grateful for even a moment of your time. If you like what you see, feel free to hit the like and the subscribe button. It goes a long way to help me out. If you really like what you see, come hang out with us. I stream every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and these people over here are actually the best people to hang out with and discover music with. Guys, like I said, if you've heard the album, say yes. If you have not heard the album, say no. Who's hopping in here with me, fresh and raw dog, for the first time? Guys, let's check this out, shall we? Fragile, or Fragile, by Yes from 1971, beginning with Roundabout, a song whose bass line I'm familiar with by lore and passing. Okay, let's see what we got. When you listen critically, it's already different. I didn't realize how that fade in came. Please check Discord. You gotta give me a few moments. It's a lot of context. I'll get to it later. That intro guitar, acoustic into that bass thing, right? Like, you've got this... What is that fade noise? What is it? Piano in reverse? And then you've got that, and then... that bass line, is it picked or slapped? Is that 2 basses?
I'll be the roundabout. The words will make you out and out. I spend the day away. Call it morning, driving through the sun and in and out the
The synths are nuts.
They make the children really ring. I spend the day away.
So the transitionary things are really, really, really cool in this song. It's definitely something where I hear this, and when I listen, when you listen objectively, it changes the entirety of the song. Because like, there's a difference between hearing it in a video game in passing or on the radio and not really like paying attention to what it is you're hearing. But when you hear all of the mixing and mastering that goes into this, all of the different pan work, how things kind of go from ear to ear, you hear all of this incredibly fast and dynamic synth work, which is just so fast and accurate. Like, and for this bass to be chugging so much and not being like interrupting or on top of the other instrumentation is just nice.
They make the children really ring. I spend the day your way. Call it morning, driving through the sound and in and out the valley.
Steve Howe played guitar, correct?
Mountains come out of the sky and they stand there.
How many people were doing the harmonies?
1 mile over, we'll be there and we'll see you.
I really like that. You just have these guitar strikes happening while you've got this synth just running over the top of it, and you've got this really cool, just kind of softly overdriven, like
Around the lake,
that.
mountains come out of the sky and they stand there.
And they stand there.
1 mile over, we'll be there and we'll see you. 10 true summers, we'll be there and laughing too. 24 before my love, you'll see. I'll be there with you.
24 before my love, you'll see I'll be there for you. 10 true summers. What? I'm trying to kind of pick up on what I'm seeing in the lyricism. The music, dance, and sing, they make the children really ring. I spend the day your way. Call it morning, driving through the south, in and out of the valley, in and around the lake. Mountains come out of the sky, and they stand there. 1 mile over, we'll be there, and we'll see you. 10 true summers, we'll be back and laughing too. 24 before my love, you'll see I'll be there with you. I'm having a hard time figuring out what is your lyrical interpretation of this? And do you think that this is like a concept album? Like, is this whole thing connecting to itself? Like, is this saying that the world is fragile, so to speak? Is that what like I'm intended to get by the album artwork? Maybe I'm reading too much into it. I'll get to it in between songs, Garrett.
I will remember you. Your silhouette will charge the view of distant atmosphere. Call it morning, driving through the sound and even in the
I really love that snare run in between the transitions.
Mountains come out of the sky, they stand there.
And then you've got that.
1 mile over, we'll be there and we'll see you. 10 true summers, we'll be there and laughing too. 24 before my love, you'll see I'll be there with you.
I don't think that you can say enough about the bass line in this. Like, I'm not sitting here just trying to suck the bass line's dick because that's what everybody says you're supposed to do. Like, when you listen in and you see how dynamic this is with all of the other ridiculous instrumentation, it's nuts. It's actually nuts. Like, do you hear how fast the synth is going? And it feels like it feels so obvious to say that the bass is like the backbone and the heartbeat, almost like it's even carrying the melody in a lot of ways, right? But it's not. It's almost just as percussive in some ways as it is melodic, and it's got like this really thumping thing to it, right? And so he's singing and playing the bass. Whoa. So Geddy Lee must have really taken some inspiration from this. It's incredible to me to hear what he's doing because, again, as I'm hearing it, it's just off the charts. But when it's backed up with the instruments that can make it sound like it fits, is equally impressive. You have to realize just because you have a bass player that can play the bass lines doesn't necessarily mean that you have a band that can play with the bass player that can play those bass lines. So you got to think about it. The supporting cast really matters when you have a bass that sounds like this, and it's mind-blowing. Cowbell in here. Just not stopping on the cowbell the whole song. Not enough. This is so many noises happening, and it's still succinct. And then you've got the harmonies coming to a fade out. And then they revisit this with these kind of ethereal digital synths. Analog synths, but digital sounds. This is just my personal album journey, Ninja. This is Steve Howe, right? I love that he incorporates this acoustic piece into this massively busy piece.
Mountains come out of the sky, they stand there.
And the bass tone cleans up there.
Before my love, I'll be there.
All guitarist Steve, okay. And then, what does he play, a Les Paul? Based on that one guitar tone? This is a master class in the synth. Oh my god, these keyboards are nuts. It's a Hammond, not a synth. There's two guitar... What? What on earth did I just hear? That. What was that? Dude, going right back into that bass line after that. There are so many layers, but they're like blending distinct. And the bass pans. I just caught that. The bass pans, you'll notice that he does that large bass pick, that doom, and it's all in the right ear. Right here. Okay. That acoustic lick in the beginning and end, what a way to start and stop. I've gotta say, this is one of those that when you listen critically, right, you find yourself... It's so much more than what you thought up front, you know? It's unreal. Okay, so here's some context for the album, context for Fragile. Yes is infamous for its constantly shifting lineup, and Fragile is no exception. Following the Yes album, keyboardist Tony Kaye was let go for his reluctance to use modern keyboards and was replaced by legendary keyboard wizard Rick Wakeman, whose virtuoso use of piano, organ, mellotron, and Moog synthesizer would be a staple for their sound for a good while. However, due to constraints of time and budget, as well as contractual garbage with Rick being signed to a different label as a solo artist, Yes were unable to compose an entire album of group compositions and recordings. Instead, 4 songs on Fragile are full group songs, while the remaining 5 showcase for each of the band members. I'll be sure to let you know which tracks are which as they come up. The personnel for Fragile is John Anderson on lead and backing vocals, Steve Howe, electric and acoustic guitars, backing vocals, Chris Squire, bass guitars, backing vocals, and additional electric guitar, 65, Rick Wakeman, Hammond, organ, grand piano, so the keys, we'll say, Bill Buford on drums and percussion, and produced by Yes and Eddie Offord. This was also the first Yes album to feature artwork by painter Roger Dean, who would design the vast majority of Yes's art going forward, including their logo, which would first appear on the album following Fragile. Got it. And the lyrics for that, I began writing Roundabout while traveling with the band in a van through Scotland in late 1971. Yes was on tour then, and we had performed in the Avamore the night before. In the van, we were heading south to Glasgow, about 3.5-hour drive. There were mountains and lakes everywhere. I had smoked a joint, so everything was vivid and mystical. As we drove along, we encountered a fair number of roundabouts, what you see in the States called traffic circles. At one point, the road dropped in a deep valley and ran next to a large lake. Low clouds covered the mountain peaks. I looked out my little note. I took out my little notepad, and started writing. I wrote the lyrics in a free form and didn't edit the lines much. I just loved how the words sounded when I put them together. I'll be the roundabout. The words will make you out and out. Okay, sweet deal. And expressed how I felt as the songs came to me fast. The way the cars navigate roundabouts. So in the context of the song, it's about John Anderson being high and going through roundabouts while driving to meet his wife. Well, don't you just love that? I love a good song context. Thank you both, Garrett and Scoots, for the context, and W's for Context Crew, the wonderful people that always throw in the context as we go through the videos. You're actually the best for that. Let's get into the next song. I mean, honestly, that was a really big one. So, Cans and Brahms, extracts from Brahms' Fourth Symphony in E minor, third movement. Okay. Oh. Wow. 1971. Get in, Margot said that beverage immediately. Cover song. My wife is over here doing ballet in the kitchen, listening to the song. This is nuts. What is it that I'm listening to, though? This one suffers from playing the latest keyboard sound syndrome, an affliction repeated on the yes. Okay. So he buys new gear and realizes it does new things, and then he's like, oh, well, I clearly have to track and record this into something. That's why I bought it, right? Like, that's why they loaded the sound onto the technology. You know, like, it could be, but I've got to be honest. Even if it's one of those songs I would absolutely just want to listen to again. The amount that's happening with those keys is just actually nutso. And to hear how many like ups and downs, and then how many things, like, you know, his arms are moving all over if they play this live. That was really cool. That was really cool. We Have Heaven is next. 1:39. What is happening with the bass right now? What's happening with the vocals? Tell me what the lyrics are then if Spotify made a blunder. Do let me know. It's Tell the Moon Dog, Tell the March Hare. Tell the Moon Dog, Tell the March Hare. Okay. Tell the Moon Dog, Tell the March Hare. Got it. Thank you. Tell the man you tell me, 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 tell the man you tell me. Are they saying he is here, but it's telling me we have heaven? Who blundered these? Or is there actually something that says we have heaven? Oh, thank you for the genius. Sorry, let me just hop back over here. Tell the moon dog, tell the March hare, we have heaven. Tell the moon dog, tell the March hare. Tell the moon dog he is clear. Tell the March hare to look around. Okay, got it. And for some perspective, there we go. Okay. Man, they really did blunder those lyrics, though, huh? My interpretation of these lyrics... Sorry, I'm interested. And if you have an interpretation of this, because you guys have, like, lived with this album, please let me know. Whether on Twitch or YouTube a little bit later. Let's see. Moondog was very weird. My interpretation of the lyrics are for the person who is around the marcher to notice on earth heaven is present. You just have to find it. Okay. I didn't think it was bad. I think it was just kind of interesting. It felt more like transitionary music anyway, like to serve between, from scene to scene kind of thing. Deeper lyrics and other jams? Fair enough. Did Yes jam when they played live? Were they like actively... Am I hearing running? Were they trying to simulate somebody running away? Starts left. It's kind of pans to the middle now. We're starting to hear it go to the right ear. Then it goes to the left. I think Yes lyrics are more about how they sound than what they mean. This atmosphere immediately on South Side of the Sky just kind of has like an ominousness to it. But yeah, I didn't, I know nothing about what their live appeal was like. I don't know if, like a lot of people, because not every band is better live, right? Like, I really don't think that's the case. I think fans of almost every band, if they are a fan of that band, will say they're better live. But that's just because I think that they had a good experience going to the concert. And of course, music and opinions are subjective, right? But some bands clearly do just have more of a penchant for making albums, and others for singles, and others for, live stuff. They jammed but weren't jammy. I disagree. Very deep lyrics in a lot of their material. Yes, it's better live. Okay, so can you guys think before? Well, I guess Twitch is gonna make me run an ad one song and think of songs or artists. Who does stuff better live? Who is better at albums? I'm interested in your conversation here, because I refuse to believe that every single band is better live, but I also feel like as much as I'm hearing on this album, it's almost impossible in a world of analog recording that these guys weren't actually just that good all the time. So yeah, let me know. I will be right back. Okay, we back. Still figuring out the new scenes. I can't wait to make them look pretty again. Okay, now we're going into South Side of the Sky. Here we go. Hopping in. Bingo bango. That's all in the right ear. and the atmosphere kind of moves from right ear, or from left ear rather. This is my left. This is my wife. And then that comes into the right ear. Drum centered. Whoa. That guitar is ripping. The synth transitions really switching in. Is he doubling his voice like on that eternity line, like eternity? Like layered or gated. Okay. The bass is just so pronounced at the same time as that synth lead being so pronounced. And it's nuts to me because you also have this guitar riff happening at the same time. And it's like you could make an argument that any of the three of the instruments are the lead while you've got this vocal right on top of it. And it's like you have to have kind of a high-pitched vocalist to sing over top of all of this sound to punch through. It's actually really incredible how sometimes sounds just kind of fall perfectly into their place. And I love the contrast of going, were we ever colder on that day to were we ever warmer on that day? It definitely feels psychedelic inspired. I can't speak into whether it is or not. Babe, thank you. My wife just brought me a little plate of desserts. I got like a little waffle cookie sandwich and some mochis. W wife. My wook wife. Oh, it's chocolate. The piano with this synth atmosphere. What is it that's making that noise? The noise. I'd care if you were here. Listen to the keys. And then that say sorrow and a da-da-da-da-da. The descends, the climb. This is really nice. And the harmonies there. I mean, honestly, just hearing this instrumentation on top, or I guess just below of these harmonies, they're not even really saying anything, but it really just carries the song. I feel like their ability to soundscape, and again, very much in the prog genre and flavor, kind of transition you from scene to scene. Actually unreal. The drums here. I feel like I haven't commented enough on the drums. In addition to all of these, like, again, we're talking about how both, like, well, all three, the bass, the synth, and the drum and the guitar could be argued to be the lead. You have the drums carrying this whole thing, transition and all. It's gnarly. W's for Scoots introducing and sharing the giz. The ascent and descent of this key sound is just massively wonderful. On that grand piano. Bro! The guitar! With this ambient, like, soundscape. Same, bish. Dude, the lead that happens in the sunshine, some.
The sunshine in mountains sometimes lost. The river can disregard the cost.
What's up, Cap? This ripped so hard. I have a question. For those of you that have just got this album ingrained into your DNA, right? I feel like, based on just what I'm looking at, and I could be wrong, that the arguments for what the best song would be Roundabout, Southside, or Heart of the Sunrise. Now, maybe I'm just looking at this in terms of time, but I have to ask, if you've been a big fan of this album, do you think Roundabout is the best song? Or do you just think that's the single and that the album has gems greater than Roundabout? Or do you think that the album is greater than the sum of its parts? I'm very interested in stuff like this, especially when it comes to prog. And people that have lived with albums, for, over 50 years, like going on 55 years, next year, like we're a year away from 55 years. So I'm definitely interested to know what you guys think. I've got to imagine Roundabout was the, like, hook. And then, but, like, Do you think that the hook was, just the hook, and then there was the whole line and sinker, or what do you? I mean, I'm interested. Was Roundabout the best song? What do you think? I'm asking because I kind of like this better than Roundabout. Roundabout was cool, but this is just doing so many more things. I feel like this did so many more things, and maybe it's because it was completely unfamiliar to me. Maybe it's because of recency bias, but I really did just like this song better than Roundabout. And I kind of thought that it would be obvious that Roundabout was the strongest one, but I got more out of the guitar here. I feel like each of the instrumentalists got kind of a grander time to shine in their own way. Not that Roundabout didn't have that, but I don't know. Maybe there was just a newness to this one. $5% for nothing. Whoa. Of 5 tracks on the album that were meant to showcase individual members' talents, it was composed by the band's drummer Bill Buford. At 35 seconds in length, it is the shortest song Yes has ever recorded and their only song credited solely to Buford. Okay. Bruford, yeah. I mean, it kind of feels like this is like the stuff I've heard of Primus, the stuff I've heard of the Residents. I almost feel like this noise kind of went that way, they took a Krupa groove. Spoilers. Gene Krupa is in the hopper. It really was just a fun little in and out, kind of in your face fun thing. So the long distance runaround. I wonder if this is almost to kind of a throwback or being referential to Roundabout, Runaround. I don't know. I don't know what Zoolesque means. But 30 minutes was literally okay. Nice. A rhythmic and polyrhythmic genius. I could believe that. Magma. Long distance runaround. Dude. The bass line with these synths. This was the first bass line you learned? Then coup friggin' does, dude. You really shot for the stars there, man. Gosh, yeah.
Long time waiting to feel the sound.
And you've got the guitar and the bass doing these octave runs of one another, so they're just, it sounds like the same but different. And again, the offbeat polyrhythmic thing here. Ooh, I like that part. I really liked it when it came here, and I'm going to let it play through because then I started hearing what I think was a guitar sound happening there.
Did we really tell lies? Letting in the sunshine. Did we really count to
Dude,
100? Cold summer.
this wails.
Hot color, melting the anger to stone. I still remember the dream there. I still remember the time you said bye.
The guitar leads.
Written in the sunshine.
Did we really tell lies? Letting in the sunshine. I love that part.
Really tell lies. Written in the sunshine.
I wouldn't even know how to count it. I kind of like this one the best. I don't know though. It's different. I like it for different reasons.
I still remember the dream there. I still remember the time you said goodbye.
Bro, that transition. And what is it I'm even hearing here? I love it, but I don't know how to describe it. But it's more than the bass. So, Yes co-founder, Yes co-founder John Anderson wrote the lyrics to this song while allegedly remembering his encounters with religious hypocrisy and competition he experienced in attending church regularly as a youth in Northern England. Long time waiting to feel the sound was a sentiment towards wanting to see a real, compassionate, non-threatening example of godliness. Dope. I love it. Thank you for that one, Garrett. W's for Garrett.
Summer, listening,
Honestly, man, though, this is kind of hitting me.
melting the anger to stone. I still remember the dream there. I still remember the time you said goodbye. You were really
Dude.
eyes, let it in the sunshine. You were really count to 100. Looking for the sunshine.
I loved this song. Yo, Fareed, thank you for the elope. Congrats, by the way. I agree with you. Happiness is the right choice. And I got to tell you, I am dealing with a whole heckin' lot of it lately. I like the wah sound on the guitar here. But what's happening with the bass? It's like, is he double tapping? And thumping? Because there's these two, it's like, are there multiple basses? About five what? About five basses? Holy cats! Another cowbell song. The Steve Howe, the guitar bits in the back are great. And there's a shaker happening at the same time. He's like running this bell on the ride. Listen to this droning guitar sound. Somebody give me some context for Schindleria praematurus. Anybody got me? Also, whomever asked what album, it's Fragile by Yes. It means Washu Fizi, drive me to Firenze. Got it. If you're wondering about that joke, it's from the Fish song You Enjoy Myself, which is hilarious and amazing. You should listen to it. And any of its versions. Ooh. Bro. I feel like Hart learned something from this guitar bit because it reminds me of the intro of Crazy on You. Like I feel like Nancy Wilson heard this and was like, "Hey Anne, unbelievable." Bro. Makes me want to get a nylon string guitar. I'm not going to get a nylon string guitar, but this sounds so cool. I can't not hear Crazy on You in my head, which means I feel like neither could Hart when they wrote it. I'm willing to bet you this is a one take. Like, I'd bet my center testicle that this is a one take. I don't know if it's Phrygian. That's not one I'm overtly familiar with. I don't even know how to do. I couldn't even begin to guess. I would end up trying to take a minor key run at the scale, like. I feel like this was just perfectly seated in this. What an like, I mean, honestly, guys, the filler song, I used to wonder what the phrase all killer, no filler meant. And as I dug deeper and deeper and deeper into old rock and roll, I realized what they meant. I'm not saying that the in-betweeners here are filler. I'm saying I'm sure a lot of people called them filler. But what I am saying is that this album has absolutely flown by and feels more like I heard like 3 songs than 9 or 8 at this point, and I'm kind of sad that the last song is coming. Now, admittedly, the last song is a solid 25% of the album, so pretty excited to see what that's going to be about. But I really think "Mood for a Day" just real. Steve Howe's guitar playing, man. Like, I need to, like, I've made it very clear that I will never take the position that anybody or any one person is the best guitar player, period. But I feel like I need to glaze this guy for a little bit, because every single time I hear him with an acoustic guitar, I swoon. And when I hear him with an electric guitar, I tremble in fear, because the guitar sounds mean and aggressive and just punches through everything. And it's not like he's sitting there ripping your face apart for 10 minutes in a solo that comprises of a 15-minute prog song. It's that when he unleashes himself, it's kind of like in and out of there. Like, he does a lot of DPS with one swing, but it takes him a little bit, to recharge the shot. And I feel like that's kind of what I really like about him. He does such heavy hitting damage with one guitar part, and then kind of hides away playing these ripping leads just while the bass and the drummer in the bass, the bass and the synth guy, the keys. Sorry, geez, I cannot talk tonight. While they do their thing, I really think this Steve Howe guy is somebody formidable. Like, over the now 2 albums I've heard, he's an immaculate player, dude. An immaculate player. Dynamics from acoustic to electric, I really appreciate the frig out of it. I've gained such a respect for him over these last 2 albums. Not even a name that was on my radar. I always kind of felt like your favorite guitar player's favorite guitar player was a guy, would be like a random guy, like Phil Keaggy. If you never listen to Glass Harp. Crimson, had you heard this album before? We're coming into song 9 out of 9. Whoa. Whoa. The high energy 0 to 100 intro. And then you just get this nice little drum pocket with this ripping bass line. And you've got this atmospheric synth happening. Feel like it's a less bluesy kind of sound, like metal from like Pink Floyd's Metal, that album. I feel like it's a less bluesy kind of sound to that. I know that these guys were contemporaries though, right? So it's like, I'm not saying one ripped the other off. I'm not saying one is derivative of. I'm just saying they sound kind of similar. That's Nate. That's exactly what I was thinking. Like the drum part transition in the song Echoes from Metal is exactly where my head was at with this bass sound. Oh yeah, you gotta listen to metal. You gotta listen to metal. It's one of my favorite. I really think metal has an argument to be a top 3 Pink Floyd album. Like, I think it's got enough juice to maybe kind of sliver in to the big 3 and knock one of them out of there for sure. Dude, okay, hang on. The drum part, dun 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 dun, dun 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 dun, and then I'm obsessed. This song rips so hard already. The transitions. Metal is 100% greater than The Wall. IMO. I'm going to maybe have an unpopular opinion here, and I know that we're sitting here listening to a Yes album, so do forgive me for having this, but this is just something I feel like I need to say. I think Dark Side would be the album of the big 3 that metal knocks off. In my opinion, Wish You Were Here, Animals, Metal, Dark Side. That's just me. I'm not going to drop the mic because it's on a stand, but that's how I feel about it. This is a Yes album, but if you have an opinion on what I have just said, I would love to hear it. Black Market Bingo? Have you never listened to any Pink Floyd? Like any of them? Like not even a one of them? Like not. Oh, honey. You've heard Dark Side and The Wall. Okay. All right. I'm so glad you're in this community. Sibley. Oh, honey. What's up, Gold? It almost kind of sounds like they could bring it back into Roundabout there from the way that transition is happening. I agree that Division Bell is underrated, but I do agree that it's rated where it needs to be in terms of Pink Floyd albums. But I guess what is kind of mind-blowing to me, how fast this comes in, how many different places you go. It's an offensive amount of noise right there in your face. And yet you don't get audio fatigue, because it's not like they're beating a dead horse with a particular sound, which sometimes prog rock has, in my opinion, as somebody who's like kind of digging into prog rock as an outsider looking in, who has no particular affinity to any of the prog rock bands, just a guy who's found a genuine interest in a genre, in kind of an unexpected way. As I've dug further and further into it, it does feel like sometimes instrumentation, in particular jams, can become superfluous to what it is you're hearing. What I've really appreciated about the way Yes has made this album is that it is not prog rock with audio fatigue in any sense of the word. You know, it does not get to the point where you're like, man, I hope we can kind of move past this. I'm excited for the next transitionary piece, and again, you really, if and truly, I think maybe there's my slight issue with earliest albums of Floyd is the audio fatigue part. And maybe, honestly, I would say that there are some times where I think that's sometimes where I get twisted up with like avant music is like the audio fatigue part. But I really, really, really think that their ability to keep an explosive amount of sound in your ears without it becoming uncomfortable is a very, very, very cool thing. And for all of the things that they are playing to constantly be virtuosic pieces of music as they go through this, just bonkers good. Yes, I have. The transition here, again, masterclass in prog transition scenes shifting.
Love comes to you, you follow, lose one.
Corey, dude, thanks for gifting a sub, homie.
Sharp distance. How can the wind with its arms around me?
I would like to say Dark Side is the album that made me a Floyd fan. I don't listen to any of Floyd if it wasn't for me and my buddy Spencer tripping dick one day, having been advised, hey, since you're going to go home and trip dick on this here acid, you should listen to Dark Side of the Moon. And we did that. And I genuinely see that as a moment that changed my musical journey in its entirety forever. With that said, and that was the album that really made me learn what like quadraphonic recording was and like, you know, how dynamics of sound worked. It really was one of those kinds of things. I would say it was the first prog rock album I ever listened to, and it was the first album I ever heard where I was like, that was like one song. What was that about? How did they even do that? That happened with Floyd. But it wasn't the biggest wow I had with them. And maybe one could argue that the LSD was stronger the other times I listened to the other albums. I don't know. I can only give you the retrospect I have and where my heart lies. And yeah, that top three of Floyd albums have shifted quite a bit. But I would say truly right now, in just my personal lexicon of, you know, having lived with the Floyd catalog, Wish You Were Here, Animals, Metal, and Dark Side. It's just where I'm at. That said, if I were to not be, you know, living the lifestyle I do now, and I thought, you know, like let's get big and have an experience, maybe it would be Dark Side again. I don't know. Or maybe it'd be a Yes album. I don't know.
Dream on out to the heart of the sunrise. sharp distance. How can the wind with so many around me?
I love the dynamics. This is the same song that I just said offended us with a wall of sound, an offensive amount of sound. And then we get this like polyrhythmic chaos, which just works out.
Lost in your eyes as you hurry by.
I have not, Big Cypress.
Counting the broken ties they decide.
Ooh. Broken ties they
Comes to
decide.
you, and then after, dream on to the heart of the sunrise.
Am I hearing a pedal steel? Or a lap steel? Or just a slide that with volume swells?
Dream on to the heart of the sunrise. Sharp distance. How can the winds? Sharp distance.
That moment might have been my favorite moment, single moment of the whole album. Not BSing. That sharp ba bop distance ba bop, and the caesura that comes with it. Holy frig, dude!
Sharp distance.
It was so nice, man.
The wind with its arms all around me. Sharp distance.
And the drums there, the panning on the drums as it happened. Yes!
With so many around me. I feel lost in the city.
Ooh. I also feel like, hearing this and kind of recognizing that, like, maybe Frank Zappa was contemporary to this, and kind of recognizing, like, bands that I really like Fish, very likely heard Yes and thought, dude. And that's really, really, really cool to me. I mean, just realistically, hearing this last little instrumental chunk, is what made me think of that. This bit right here. Like, I can't help Rick Wakeman, that's the keys player, right? I cannot help but think that our boy Page listened to this album a few times. Ooh.
Lost in their eyes as you hurry by, counting the broken
There's gotta
ties they
be.
decided.
How they incorporate these transitions and make counts just like impossible. Again, the guitar and the bass. You've got the bass just go. It's unreal. He's going everywhere, all while the guitar is kind of following it, as well as taking its own lead. The synth, I don't even know how to comment on. And then the drummer is just like, I got this, boys. Don't worry. Ugh. I'm really, yeah, Ninja. The bell that he's hitting on the ride here is, and I commented on it earlier in the song. You know, like he's not like a crash cymbal oriented drummer over the top, and I like that because again, you have everybody else doing busy stuff, so he's filling the space with the sound that makes sense, and it's just good. Like you have all of this happening with the bass, the synth, and you know the guitar. So there's not a whole lot of other room for kind of trebly, splashy sounds to go. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to crash it, right? So the bell, which is not going to be real resonant of the ride sound, makes perfect sense for the setting. And I really think that's cool. Hey, night, Uncle Bert. This feels like jam bandy. And then we get into this like grand piano sound. Oh my gosh. And that bass line. Straight light searching all the meanings of the song. Dang, dude. I keep wanting to count, but it's like part of the excitement about this song is that you just don't know when it's gonna transition from one thing to another, you know? Dude. Keys are nuts. Is he a hybrid bass player? Is he switching from both pick to slap and pluck? Because, you know, there's certainly a lot happening there. And for them to play this live, I don't even know how they'd go about doing it.
Love comes to you, and then after, dream on to the heart of the sunrise.
I would love to know what the recording process for this was.
Distance, how can the wind with its arms all around me? Short distance, how can the wind with so many around
He picks exclusively. Got it. Dude, the way he punches that lyric, the way he punches this lyric might be the coolest part of the whole damn song. Dude, unbelievably great. What a closer. That is what you call sticking the landing. Did we get left with a minute of dead time on the album? Nope. I don't know what it is I'm listening to, but it's pretty cool. Yes! Yes! I like that there's a yes there at the end. Guys, S tier friggin' album. You know, and it's interesting because this album, it absolutely is worth more than the sum of its parts. Like when you have the transitionary pieces of music included in there, you know, there's really so much kind of happening for it, and it starts off with such high energy, but their ability to control dynamics and go from high energy to low energy. You know, their use of, say, Sura and dropping massive energy into kind of a nothing moment or this delicate moment. And again, that the instrumentalists all kind of allowed the others to shine by letting everybody seem like the lead. It felt, again, in some parts, like it was just so much noise to control, but they were there controlling it. Guys, how many of those of you that heard this with me for the first time, how would you rank this album? Because I really, really, really enjoyed this. Guys, I've got to... I mean, I'm going to listen to another Yes album, so I'm going to put another Yes album in the hopper. Do me a favor, let me know what the next likely jump from here is. Because I'm here for this. Like, I don't know if I'm going to do the full catalog yet. We definitely got to go, you know, kind of one at a time here. But this was great. This was great. 5 Clarks out of 7. That's a lot of Clarks, man. That's a pretty big chunk of Clarks. Yeah, guys, I'm down for this one. Hey, I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for the positivity that you show both to me and to one another. Continue to be the best. And until I see you next, be introspective and consider the birds. Thanks again. Love you. Goodbye.